Let's enjoy English School, yo! Today is May 25th. We're on pages 52 and 53. It's the Just So You Know article. And today we're talking about children and imaginary friends make a great pair.
Yeah, 又到了我们生活快递的单元了。英文里面讲到 Just so you know， 就是让你知道一下也无妨这样的感觉哦。在这边的话，我们今天要介绍的主题呢是假想的朋友。好，在英文这个 title 里面，你会看到 Children and imaginary friends。好 ，imaginary friend 就是想象出来的，从我们想象力运用想象力之后想象出来的朋友 ，make a great pair， 孩子的好玩伴，假想朋友。
Let's look at our subtitle right away. Imaginary friends come in all shapes and sizes.
好，我们来看一下我们的副标题哦。我们先看到 imaginary friends come in all shapes and sizes。你会常常看到很多东西。主词后面接的是 come in all shapes and sizes， 比方说手机 smartphones come in all shapes and sizes， 可能大小不同、形状不同等等，或是其他的。Not really.
I mean, in the past, cell phones came in all shapes and sizes. Today, they're all a rectangle.
All right, that's true.
They're all 长方形, every one of them.
我还想到是 Motorola 那种以前的
Nokia. Think of the phones your grandma and grandpa used.Phones used to be different, and today they're all the same. But,
没错
you know, it's all right.
Yeah.
All right. That was a terrible example.
Right. I was thinking about that.
All right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll hear our article. And when we come back, we'll have paragraph one.
Children and imaginary friends make a great pair. Have you ever had an imaginary friend? Imaginary friends are often peculiar beings that can take shape as humans, animals, or even scary monsters. An imaginary friend doesn't have to be invisible. It could be a stuffed toy or a robot that's been given a personality by its creator. Experts say that imaginary friends reflect children's fears, goals, and understandings of the world. Many people consider imaginary friends to be childish, but studies have shown that having imaginary childhood friends is completely normal and even has benefits. In fact, some adults even maintain friendships with their imaginary friends from their childhood. What's more, imaginary friends have long been a part of human history.Famous writers, including William Shakespeare, Oscar Wilde, and J.D. Salinger, wrote plays and novels featuring characters that had imaginary friends. Since ancient times, humans have seen faces in mountains, trees, and clouds, and created stories about brave and magical heroes in order to describe what they saw. Many people talk about having guardian angels watching over them.These can be defined as imaginary friends, too.
All right, friends, so we're starting paragraph one, but before we do, let's look at this word imaginary. Imaginary, 你要看前面 I-M-A-G, 然后 I, 这个 I 后面我们都去掉，我们要加一个 E, image.Image is a Latin word, and it just means a copy, or it's like something else. And this is, so when imaginary, we don't really see it. It's not there. We have to pretend that it's there. It's not really. And when we imagine our friends, we are kind of, 我们自己要画他是怎么样的 right? So it's like something else.
没错，所以在这里的话，老师先讲到这个 imaginary 最初的这个字根就是 image，picture， 好，就是一个图像。所以从这个字根衍生出来，你可能有听过 imagine 就是那个一个动词，指的是想象。所以说这里的话 ，imaginary 就是想象出来的 something that you create.Out of your imagination, 你的想象力所创造出来的东西。
So the picture is image, and then the verb is to imagine. And here we have imaginary. And then you said use your imagination. So 这个 image 前面 it's pretty useful. And also we talk about images on your phone and computer. 这个字真的蛮好用诶。
对。
Let's get on into paragraph 1. Have you ever had an imaginary friend?
好，最后呢，我们来看到第一段的地方，先讲到说第一句话 ，Have you ever had an imaginary friend？ 你有没有那种想象出来的朋友啊 ？I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What was his name?
Did I tell you that I wish I could be a unicorn? Do you still remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
独角兽.
Yeah, 独角兽.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my imaginary.
Really?
Friend. Yeah.
And was it like a real horse, or was it like a pink horse? Or
Like a very small one.
a very small. How
Yeah.
big? Like
this big.
Oh, so it was like a little
like
friend.
a little friend.
Like
yes.
a baby.
Like a baby.
Like a cat.
Yeah.
Could it fly?
Yeah, I don't know. I never asked.
Does it have it? You never. Did you talk to your imaginary friend?
Yes.
I love this. This is so interesting. So,
Yeah.
did you talk to your imaginary
Yes,
friend?
I remember.
And what color was your imaginary unicorn?
I can't remember.
Can't remember.
It changes all the time.
And did he have a name? She? They?
I can't remember his
Don't.
name. When
This story's now bad.
No, yeah, I know, but I once had an imaginary friend.
That's really interesting.
What about you?
No, I kept thinking about this, and 我刚想到 answer when Anthony was introducing the article. I did not have imaginary friends. I imagined myself on a lot of adventures, but I always loved animals. And I said, oh, wait a second. I didn't have imaginary friends because, like, I would make insects, bugs, cats. Like the local animals in my neighborhood became my friends. Like I would see an animal that would be my friend. I was happy to make like worms, 蚯蚓 and 那个昆虫 and 猫咪那边的猫咪那个狗狗. Those were my friends, but they weren't imaginary. But I talked to them.
哦，原来如此。老师呢跟我的差别是我以前我住的地方比较没有那么多的猫猫狗狗啊，我自己的变成是要想象出来朋友来陪伴我。但是老师呢，他的身边呢，他当初住的环境有很多猫狗昆虫啊什么，所以可以看得到的事物，好，所以说他不需要那种想象出来的朋友。看到猫看到狗就是他们就是我的朋友啦，这样。
Yeah, I would play with it, and I didn't want to hurt them. Ants, I would like give them food and like. I just liked animals, and maybe that's why I love animals today. They were my friends, and they are my friends today. Let's look at this sentence. Have you ever had an imaginary friend? 这个是现在完成式，这个 have and had. A lot of students feel this is like, 这是什么东西有两个 have 吗？ No. 最前面的 have or has 告诉你，嘿，这个是现在完成式，从过去到现在有没有当过 some imaginary friend， 什么假想朋友。And 这个 had is 你的过去分词 That's your verb here. Don't let this scare you. 小心 have you ever had when 你从来这个从来有发生过吗 Don't say, oh yes, I have often had an imaginary friend. This is not correct. We say once, twice, or always.
Yeah, 没错，在这里的话，他是问到是从过往，然后呢一路到现在你的经验的总和。所以在这里的话，你可以常常会听到人讲 Have you ever， 然后后面接上一个过去分词。那我可能想到非常多的歌曲，像 Have you ever been in love by Celine Dion， 很多时候都会有一些这样类似的这种句型。
All right, and don't forget we can say no, I have never had an imaginary friend. Okay, let's continue. Imaginary friends are often peculiar, special, strange beings that can take shape as humans, animals, or even scary monsters.
好，所以他这边就告诉你说啦，他说 Imaginary friends are often peculiar beings. Peculiar means strange， 有一点怪怪的哈，那种外形奇怪的 that can take shape， 它的外形形状呢 as humans 可以是人 animals 动物 or even scary monsters 甚至是那种很可怕的怪兽。
Scary 不是 scared 是自己害怕。An imaginary friend doesn't have to be invisible. It could be a stuffed toy or a robot that's been given a personality by its creator.
好，所以在这边他告诉你说 an imaginary friend 遐想的朋友呢 doesn't have to be invisible， 不见得是那种你看不到的。比方说我以前小的时候我会喜欢独角兽，那个独角兽出来的时候别人都看不到，那就是 invisible。 但是呢，他这边讲到说 ，it could be a stuffed toy 啊 ，stuffed toy 就是那种填充玩具 ，or a robot 或是机器人 that has been given a personality by its creator。也就是说，今天如果你有一个可爱机器人，你叫它 Chris。那他的话，不好意思哦，然后他的话就是你的话就是他的 creator， 那他就是你的 imaginary friend， 也是可以的，他看得到，他不是 invisible。
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we have our next paragraph. All right, friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We are looking at pages 52 and 53, and we're talking about imaginary friends. Let's look at our second paragraph. Experts say that imaginary friends reflect children's fears, goals, and understandings of the world.
好，再来我们看这一段哦。他第一句话就告诉你说，专家怎么说呢 ？Experts say that， 专家是说啊 ，imaginary friends reflect， 就是能够反映出这些假想的朋友呢，能够反映出小朋友的什么 children's fears， 他们的恐惧 ，goals， 他们目标，就是他们想要什么。And understandings of the world 对这个世界的理解都可以从假想世界里面假想的朋友里面反映出来哦。
Now, fear is a noun. We can't say scared or afraid here. A lot of students know 我害怕东西 afraid 还是 scared. Those are adjectives, so don't 你这边不可以用 like afraid and scared here. 一定要说 fear, that's the noun. Let's go to our next sentence. Many people consider, feel, or think imaginary friends to be childish. But studies have shown that having imaginary childhood friends is completely normal and even has benefits.
哦，这句话听到我真的是高兴啊，非常开心哦。他就说了 ，Many people consider imaginary friends to be childish。好，很多人觉得说，天哪，你还有想象出来的朋友，你好幼稚哦。但是，你看他说 ，Studies have shown that， 根据研究显示呢 ，having imaginary childhood friends， 好，在童年的时候有这种假想朋友的话呢 ，is completely normal， 是很正常不过的。And even has benefits， 而且啊还有好处哦。
Now let's highlight the word childish. 这个 ish 的结尾 makes childish a little negative. If we want to say something is like a little kid, but it's good, we want it to feel positive, we'll say childlike. Childlike is good, childish is bad.
没错，所以说今天你讲到一个人是 childlike， 就是很有赤子之心，听起来就觉得哇还不错，感觉好天真好可爱哦。那就这个人幼稚鬼，这时候就是 childish。好，所以那个 ish 会带给一点那种负面的感觉。如果你要给他正面，说像小孩一样天真可爱的话，你会用 childlike 这个字来表达。
Okay, let's underline have, showing that's the present perfect tense. 现在完成时 it's have or has. 加过去分词 your PP, your past participle, and 这个做加强，从开始研究到现在 we can see having imaginary friends is normal. It's a good thing, and it even has benefits. Now, benefits, this is such a useful word. Bene in Italian and actually Latin, it means good. So, bene, what is good morning in Italian? Benevuto, how do they say it?
I don't speak English.
Really? You don't speak Italian?
I don't speak. I think the only Italian word I can use is por favore.
Well, yeah, por favore. It's an easy one. All right. Benevuto is like good morning in Italian, maybe. But nigga, bene, it means good in Latin. That's what I want to tell you. So when you see B-E-N-E, 这个意思 is good.
没错，就是 good， 就是很好的意思。所以这个 ben 好 B-E-N-E 就是有好的意思嘛 ，benefits 就是益处。
Or is benevuto like welcome? Oh, I don't speak Italian. All right. In fact, some adults even maintain friendships with their imaginary friends from their childhood.
好，接下来我们看下一句话，他说 In fact, some adults even maintain friendships with their imaginary friends from their childhood. 甚至有些都已经变大人咯，还是呢跟他小的时候的这个想象出来的朋友保持非常良好的关系，还一路想象下去，好那种感觉。所以这种大人，你也不能说他幼稚吧？
Now, let me ask you, maybe you feel a little bit embarrassed by this because it feels childish. Do you still think about your unicorn imaginary friend?
Not anymore. 尤其是在生活很忙碌的时候，你会发现到你会慢慢忽略了这个朋友。即便说，要不是看到这个文章，我可能还想不起来我以前有过这个 unicorn.
Does that make you feel sad?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Yes. A little bit like this is my friend. Yeah. Well, maybe in some ways I do have imaginary friends. Like maybe my cats, and I don't want to cry here. But like I have a lot of cats, and if they died, I still think about them. And in some ways they are my imaginary friends now. I mean, maybe they're ghosts, I guess, right? Like I think about them in that way and I miss them. So maybe that's similar. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we have our final paragraph. All right, friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're talking about imaginary friends on pages 52 and 53. Now, Anthony told us about his unicorn imaginary friend. I said I didn't have imaginary friends, but I made friends with lots of animals. Did you have imaginary friends? Does that feel childish to you? Tell us in those comments. I'm interested in hearing about this.
没错。
Especially because Taiwanese and foreigners, we're a little different. How do we imagine our imaginary friends?
Yeah, 没错。老师这样问的问题就是说，今天呢，你觉得像我们刚刚前面提到了很多很多假想朋友，你觉得有假想朋友是幼稚的吗？那你自己有没有假想朋友呢？甚至呢，老师还问了一个问题，就是说，其实因为东方跟西方，好像美国人跟台湾人，他们在想到 imaginary friends 的时候，可能想象出来的东西很不一样。你的这个假想朋友是什么呢？我们告诉我们，我们好想知道哦。
Yeah, I'd like to know. All right, let's get into our paragraph. What's more, imaginary friends have long been a part of human history.
好，再来这一段里面呢，他就告诉你说，其实事实上呢，此外 ，what's more 就是此外的意思。Imaginary friends have long been a part of human history. 在人类历史上呢，也有许许多多的这种假想的朋友，这在我们人类历史上存在已久了。
Now, at the beginning of the month, we were talking about Jerry Spinelli and Loser. I think it was day 2, maybe May 2nd. And we said, long to do something. That means 你好想要做什么. It's a very strong word. 这边 have long been part. 这个不是 like 我很想要当 like 假想朋友. That's wrong. This really just means imaginary friends have been parts of human history for a really, really long time.
没错，在这边的 long 是 for a long time 的意思，跟我们在这个5月2号的时候讲到那个 long to do something 那个是不太一样的哦。
That's right. Next sentence, famous writers including William Shakespeare, Oscar Wilde, and J.D. Salinger wrote plays and novels featuring characters that had imaginary friends.
好，接下来告诉你说了，他既然是提到人类历史上嘛，还要举一些例子。Famous writers 很知名的作家呢，像是 including William Shakespeare 莎翁，对不对 ？Oscar Wilde 王尔德 and J.D. Salinger 好，这个是那个麦田捕手的作者 wrote plays and novels featuring characters that had imaginary friends。他们的笔下这里面的主角呢，可能都有他们自己各自想象出来的朋友哦。
Don't worry about these 3 names right now. They're very famous writers. Maybe when you're in college, you will read Oscar Wilde and J.D. Salinger. But right now, then, if you have to know one name, know Shakespeare is really famous. Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, like everybody knows that.
Right.
Okay, let's continue here. Since ancient times, humans have seen faces in mountains, trees, and clouds, and created stories about brave and magical heroes in order to describe what they saw. This is a very long sentence. Anthony will translate. I'm going to read it again.
OK， 好，在这边的话特别注意 ，since ancient times， 好，在古老很古老的时代，这个字的话 ，ancient 这个字就是古老的，它是一个形容词哦。如果说是从那个时候开始一路到现在的话，你就知道这个时态要选择现在完成式。所以你看后面他写说 ，humans have seen faces in mountains。trees and clouds and created stories about brave and magical heroes. 我们先到这边休息一下。他这边提到说呢， 人们呢，这过往以来，人们就常常在山啊、树啦，或是云啊，看到很多的那种脸，然后开始创造这些故事 about brave and magical heroes， 很勇敢，而且具有这种法力的这种神奇的这种英雄。Why? In order to describe what they saw， 这样才能够有效的去描述说他们所看到的事物。
Okay, now if your English reading is a little poor， 可能你不太会念很顺利，我的中文念中文不顺利 ，so I understand. Let me help you. We're going to use brackets. Brackets，我们就是挂起来 ，OK？看我的手，会让这个句子比较简单。我要重念 ，Ready? So, since ancient times， 我们先写一个括号。Since ancient times, humans have seen faces in mountains, trees, and clouds. 第二个，开头第二个部分。And created stories about brave and magical heroes. 挂起来。In order to describe what they saw. This sentence has 3 parts. 而且有很多 ands, so it looks really hard to say. But if you draw those brackets like I did on my paper, this will be a lot easier.
没错，所以在这里的话，你不妨用括号把它括起来。所以第一个部分是 since ancient times， 一直到这个 clouds。好，这是第一块，然后第二块 and created， 好，一直到这个 heroes， 好，第三块是 in order to describe what they saw， 这3块慢慢的一点一点去抓到说他们之间的结构关系，这样子看就会清楚了。
Many people talk about having guardian angels watching over them.
好，甚至他就说很多人呢，many people talk about。提到说什么 having guardian angels， 他们居然有看到他们的守护天使 watching over them， 在守护着他们，保护着他们。
I have never thought about how to say guardian angel in Chinese. I 从来没有想过 how to say that. That's interesting. I gotta practice this word. That's a good word for me.
守护天使，
厉害，
厉害啊
！So a guardian angel watching over them. Now guardian 有 GU, but 这个 U 没有发音 You can draw a little X. 你画一个叉叉 Don't say guardian. That's wrong. And watching over them just means protecting them. Underline watching over. You can write protecting them. Protecting.
Protecting 就是保护的意思，就是在上天在上面保护着你这些守护天使。我多讲几次，他就会记得了。
These can be defined as imaginary friends too, but don't tell people that because you're telling them their religion is fake.That will make someone angry.
啊，没错，这个要特别注意哦。这边这句话说 ，These can be defined as， 这也可以被定义成 imaginary friends too。当我看到这句话的时候，我心里头有点害怕，是因为有一些我身边的很好的朋友，他们对宗教信仰非常的虔诚。如果你跟他们说他们的守护天使或是他们相信的神上帝是 imaginary friend， 有的人会很生气，所以在跟他讨论的时候要特别小心哦。
Yeah, that's a good way to make someone angry. Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we got vocab review. All right, friends, it's time for vocab review. Our first word is an adjective, imaginary.
Imaginary 就是想象出来的。
You could also say imaginary, 短 I. That's also okay. Number 2, peculiar.
Peculiar 就是奇异的或是奇怪的。
Strange. Number 3, to take shape.
To take shape 就是呢以什么样的形态出现，或是这意思本来是指成型，但这边的话是指以什么形态出现。
Number 4, invisible.
Invisible 就是看不见的，前面的 in 就是 not， visible 就是看得到。
Number 5, normal.
Normal 就是正常的。
Normal 的相反是 abnormal， 不是 innormal, unnormal 怎么样 ？Abnormal, A-B. And number 6, magical.
Magical 这个字的意思是神奇的或是有法力的。
G is J. Number 7, to watch over somebody or something.
To watch over somebody or something 就是守护、保护的意思，就是 protect.
And number 8, to define.
To define 就是呢，就是定义的意思。就像我们最后一段讲 ，These can be defined as 可以被定义成 imaginary friends.
All right, with that, let's take a quick break for 24 hours, and we'll see you tomorrow at Enjoying the School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Antony.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.